أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح. Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing fine, inshallah. Yeah, you can just stay mute and respond in the chat box. We'll go through any confusion in the homeworks or in the worksheets, and we'll talk about the comments if there is any requirement of that. And then after that, we'll just move on to our next lesson. So, Alhamdulillah, today we are starting our lesson 3 of Quran Abasan by Sadia Saad. Okay, what do we see on our screens here? The same chart that we have been working on for the last classes. Some of you may say, hey, not again, we have already learned that. Yeah, well, exactly. That's what the goal is, to understand and to sort of memorize this chart as best as we can, as this is going to be one of the most helpful resources for you, inshallah. Okay, let's just quickly revise and recall what we learned. The first thing we talked about was that whenever we see a word in Quran, how to identify if it is a noun or a verb or a harf. So far, we have been studying about the noun, like we learned the indicators. And once we identify any word in Quran to be a noun, then we learned how we can tell if it is singular or plural, if it's a male or a female, if it's common or proper, and finally, what is the case sign of that noun. And how do we tell the case sign? By looking at this part of the chart. We did that, yeah? It was quite straightforward. We did some examples. If you have any confusion with when you are analyzing any noun, all you gotta do is just look at this chart and see which part your selected noun is matching with, and it would clearly tell you the case sign. Okay, we did kitabun in rough, kitaban, Nasb and Kitabin is there. No confusion here. The common nouns, they show their case sign very clearly, and you have identified many of them in your juz, alhamdulillah, by coloring their tanween blue. You would have noticed there are quite a lot of them in your juz, right? And then we saw the case signs of the proper nouns too. They are quite clearly visible as well. I'll at the beginning, that's the difference here. It's showing it that it's proper, showing it to be the proper noun. Al-kitabu for raf, al-kitaba for nasb, and al-kitabi for jar. Again, no confusion. And then we looked at the female nouns with the small ta at the end. Jannatun for raf, jannatan for nasb, and jannatin for jar. Well, majority of the nouns in Arabic, as we'll progress, you'll see that, inshallah, that a majority of the nouns in Arabic belong to such nouns, such category where the case sign is as we see, okay, with the harakas at the end. All right. Now, there's no confusion here. We have practiced this part quite a lot, so let's just remove it from here, okay? All right. What was the next thing that we looked at? We looked at the quality, the singular noun, kafirun, and it was quite easy. It's a common noun. We could see the tanween. We understood that this quality, negative quality, it's a disbeliever, the one who disbelieves. It can exist in more than one person as well. There could be more than one disbeliever too. So we learned how to make the plural of it. And how did we do that? We took the singular, kafirun, and we added una at the end. And what was the product we got? Kafiruna. Good. And if there is a negative quality, then there could be a positive quality as well. Mu'minun, a believer. How would we make the plural for it? You can write your responses in the chat box. We add una at the end as well. And what would the result be? Mu'minuna. Excellent. And it's a common noun. How would we make it a proper noun for mu'minuna? we will just add al at the start and it will become al-mu'minuna. Yeah. Sorry, one thing here I needed to mention. You may see here some difference in how this part is written. The ka part is written. Here it's alif and here it is written as small alif. Just the only logic behind is that this is how it usually appears in the Quran. You can check it at your end after the class. So the pronunciation remains the same. It's just the way it's written. Okay. All right. So al-mu'minuna, that is where we were. Al-mu'minuna, that's how we make it proper noun. And then there was a confusion about the case sign of the male plurals. What was that? That there is fatha at the last letter of all these nouns. And so, but how could it be in rough? Because of the fatha. And then we learned that we we determine the case sign of these male plural nouns by the ending sound of them. How? We say una. It's just the una sound that makes it rough, and then ina makes it nasb, and it remains the same in jar, ina. So say it out loud at your end, the same thing that we did in last class. Kafiruna for rough, kafirina and kafirina for both nasb and jar. So una, ina, ina. Same for the proper noun. Al-mu'minuna. It's una, so rough. And what would it be in nasb and jar? Al-mu'minina and al-mu'minina. Again, so una, ina, ina. Okay, quite simple. Inshallah, we'll be repeating it so many times that you'll learn it by heart as well. Okay, all right, let's just do an example here. I'll be unmuting a few of you as soon as I say your name. Please unmute yourself and stay unmuted until your turn is done. All right. Okay, what do we see on screen here? I'll call a name of one of the students. I asked you to do the verbal analysis of colored nouns in the last class as well. Yeah. Because it's really going to help you. Let's just analyze this one. I'll take a name of one of the students. It is a noun. Good. All right, we have talked about this in the last class too. How would we say that? First, we read it, an-nazirina, and what do we do next? After reading it, the first thing we notice and first action we got to do on it is we color the al green. Good. How do we say it? Please color the please green in al. No, just let's just try and stick to the standard words. So all of us are repeating the exact same phrase, and it would really help all of you to memorize it and to unconsciously repeat the correct thing. Okay, so we'd say color the al green. So what would it become? It would look like this. Yeah, color the al green, and we start the analysis. It is a noun, we have identified that. Good. And it is what? A plural. Good. And okay, you said next, male. What do we do with the plural? When it's a plural noun, what do we write in analysis next to it? We write the singular. Good. And how do we make the singular? From the plural, we remove the ina. Good. And in the analysis, we learned last time that we write the singular as a common noun and in rough, because that is the original condition of the noun. Okay, so it would be the singular form of this noun in common and in rough would be nazirun. Excellent. Now it can be, you can see that it's written with the small alif. Look, it can be written with the small alif or with the alif. It doesn't matter. You'd probably find it written both ways in the Quran. The pronunciation remains the same. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay. What's next? It's a male. Good. And it's proper because there is L. And what would be the case sign? Let's just have a look at the glimpse of the chart here. What do we need to do? We need to look at the ending sound. Una, ina, ina. It's a ina. It's matching with this here. So what would be the case sign? Nasb and jar both. And how do we write it? We know it by now. We write it this way, yeah? Alrighty, and what do we add after that? Well, our favorite question mark. Excellent. And finally, we do the translation. What would be the translation? The Nazirina. It's okay if you don't know the meaning. The Nazirina or the Nazirs. Yeah. I'll be telling you the meanings as we go. And we'll be repeating a few words so many times because we gotta eventually build our vocabulary anyway, yeah? But until you don't know the meaning, you just use the same word. So the Nazirina or the Nazirs. Well, the meaning of Nazir is the observer. So it's plural here, the observers. All right. Okay, we'll do the another example, but before that, pay attention on what I say, okay? I'll display a word here, a noun, or whatever word I'll display here. You would just this is how you would be analyzing it, okay? You'd say an-nazirina, color the al green, noun, plural of nazirun, male, proper, nasb jar, question mark, and then you say the translation. Okay, let's just try and avoid all the extra words. Okay, it is a noun. Okay, now it is a plural. Instead of just using unnecessary words, let's just learn and practice to be just on point, and let's just say what's relevant. Okay, there is a reason I'm focusing on this and I'm emphasizing on this. It's really going to help all of us, inshallah. Okay, alhamdulillah. So we are done with this example. Let's look at another one. Muslihuna. Okay, who do I have on unmute? All right, where do we start? The first thing, we color the fatha green and blue. Sorry, yes, excellent. And we start the analysis. It's a noun, good. And it's a plural, excellent. Plural of, how do we make the singular out of this plural? We remove the una and we write it in rough. The singular noun in common for rough would be muslihun, excellent. It's a male, common, and the case sign is, say the ending sound out loud, una. So it is rough, excellent. And then our question mark and the translation, muslihun, musles. What do we add in the common nouns translation? Some muslihuna. Good. Some muslihuna or some musles. Good. As I said, if you don't know the meaning, it doesn't matter. The meaning for this word is reformer. So muslihuns are actually reformers. We'll be translating it as some reformers. Okay. Good. All right. What's next? Let's look at a female. Right. Then we looked at some female nouns. Yeah. Mu'minatun, we learned how to make their plurals. Yeah, first we knew that we were quite confident with the male nouns mu'minun. We learned how to make it how to make a female from the male noun. If there can be a male disbeliever, a male believer, a male mu'min, the same quality can exist in a female as well. And how would we make this? We will add the small ta at the end, so it would become mu'minatun. And now this quality can exist in more than one females too. So how would we how would we make the plural for it? This small tha at the end, the tun, we would replace it with atun. Okay, we did that last time, yeah. Let's look at another example. Jannatun, we can see it's a female noun because of the small ta and it is a singular, and we would just add atun at the end and it would become jannatun. Excellent. Okay. And then we learned how to determine their case sign. It is quite visible that it is in rough. There's no confusion here. It would go under this section rough. So jannatun. Just like in the male nouns, we emphasized on the ending sound una, ina, ina. Here for female nouns, we would emphasize on the ending sound as well. Atun for rough, atin for nasb, and it remains the same in jar. Atin. So say it out loud at your end. Jannatun, jannatin, jannatin. Atun, atin, atin. Okay, let's look at another example. Swalihatun, you can tell it's a female because of the small tha at the end. How would you make a plural for it? You would add atun. All right, looking at this noun, swalihatun, how would we make the plural of it? Swalihatun. Good. And what would it look like when it's proper? What would it look like? As-swalihatu. Good. We just add al at the start. Okay. The tanween would get dropped automatically. How will it appear then in this chart with the case signs? How would we see the case signs? As-swalihatu, as-swalihati, as-swalihati. Okay. So say it again. Atu, ati, ati. So for the plurals now, for females, now we know the case signs. The ending sound we need to remember would be atun, atin, atin for common, and atu, ati, ati for the proper nouns. Okay, easy. Let's try the analysis of some of them. Now that we know we have revised the female nouns and their case signs, I'll see how much you have practiced from last week. Okay, what do we see on screen here? I have some of you on unmute. I'll say a name. So it's ayatun. Yes, ayatun, not ayatun. What's the first thing we do? Color the tanween blue. Excellent. And starting the analysis, noun, plural of. How do we go back from plural to singular? We have already learned how to go from singular to plural. We had a small ta. We sort of removed it and add atun with this ta. And to go back from plural to singular, what are we going to do? We will remove this atun and add the small ta, and it would become, and it is this word we are already familiar with it, yeah? It's ayatun. Excellent. So plural of ayatun and female. Why? Because we can see the small ta with the singular, and it is common tanween, pretty straightforward. And what's the case sign? We don't even need a chart for that. It's quite clear here. It is rough. Excellent. And then question mark. And translation is some ayat or some verses. Good. All right. Pretty easy. Let's do another one. Al bayyinati. Yes. Let's start. Color the al green. Beautiful. That's the very first thing we notice and first thing we do. Color the al green. It's a noun and plural of. It's plural because of the ati. We can see that, yes. And how do we derive the singular? It's going to have a small ta. We're going to replace it with small ta. And again, we write here in analysis the singular as a common noun and always in rough in its original form, regardless of what the case sign here is. In the analysis, we always write in rough. We have revised it a few times now. So it would be bayyinatun. Beautiful. A female, yes, proper. And what would be the case sign? Let's have a look at the chart quickly and try to match it, although most of you would probably not need it, I hope. Say the sound out loud, the emphasizing on the last bit. Al-bayyinati. It matches with as-swalihati, as-swalihati, atu, ati, ati. We have ati. So ati, ati. What is the case sign now? Nasb and jar. We say it nasb jar and we write it as like this. Good. Question mark. And the translation, we can use the same word, of course. The bayinat. The bayinatun means a clear sign. So the clear signs. Excellent. That's the translation. Well done. All right. Moving on. What was the next thing we did? Let's see what's coming up. We remember the name Zaidun. We saw the name Zaidun. It seems to be a common noun initially. The first time we look at it, we may think it's a common noun. Why? Because of the tanween. But what did we learn? That it's a name. We are familiar that Zaid is a boy's name, and name got to be a proper noun. Where did we learn that? What was the name in the first worksheet where we learned how to color the first letter instead of the tanween? Yes, Muhammadun in worksheet 1. Excellent. So when we know, we are clear that it's a proper noun, it's a name, we ignore the tanween and we colored the first letter. That's how we identify it. And there is another category, similar thing, Adamu. It's a name. We are familiar with Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. It's a name. So we colored the first letter green. What's the very first difference you see in these two names? They are even highlighted in red here. Like Zaidun has a tanween and Adamu does not have one. It's a single haraka at the end, yeah? What is this type of noun? We did that last time. It's a Maryam type noun. And the case signs we learned are Maryamu, Maryama, and what for jar? Maryami? No, right? Maryama. Good. Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. So Adamu would be Adamu in rough, and for Nasb and Jar it would be Adama, Adama. And what do you think? This type of behavior is only demonstrated by the names, like just the names of Adam or Maryam, or we do have more Maryam type nouns. We did add another noun to the chart. Can anyone tell me in the chat box? Good, it was masajidu. So masajidu, and if it's a Maryam type noun in Nasb and Jar, it would be masajida, masajida. Excellent, well done. All right, let's try and do some analysis. What is the first thing we're going to do? We know it's a proper noun and it's a name, so it would be the first letter. We are going to color the alif green. Good. And analysis is noun, singular, male. There is no clear indicator, no small ta. Good. Male. And it's proper. We have already colored it. We've already determined that. And the case sign would be, I'll display the chart for you. I know most of you are giving me the right answers in the chat box. Well done. But since it is a Maryam type noun, it fits in here. So Israelu, Israela, Israela. It would be Israela means it is Nasb and Jar. We write it as Nasb Jar. We say Nasb Jar as well, not Nasb and Jar. Question mark. And the translation is what? Zaidun is Zaid, Adamu is Adam, Maryam is Maryam, Israel is Israel. Or should I say the Israel? What do you think? Yeah, we don't write that with the name, so it is just Israel. Excellent. Alrighty, we have another example now. Al Yatama. Alright, whoever I have on unmute, please start. You start it. What's the first thing? Color the al green. Beautiful. Noun and plural of. It is a plural. It's okay if you don't understand it, but this might be familiar, might be a familiar word for some of you. It is a plural of yatimun. Okay, yatimun. We know some of you may know what yatimun means, but all right, this is a plural of yatimun, and is it a male or a female? It can't be female. We can't see small ta. Good, male and proper. And what is the case sign here? What do you think it matches with in the chart? We've already done it last time. It's a Musa type word. So the case sign would be Raf, Nasb, Jar. Beautiful. Raf, Nasb, Jar. And then question mark. And the translation is the Yatama. Okay. Or the Yateems. Yeah, yatim means orphan. Okay, so the yatims or the orphans. If you didn't know that, now you know. Okay, a yatim means an orphan, and al yatama is the plural. We'll translate it as the orphans. Good. Let's move on now. We will look at these. Okay, from the example that we just did, we saw the Musa type nouns, the type of nouns that appear to be the same in all three case signs. So in Raf, it would be Musa and would appear to be the same Musa in Nasb and Musa in Jar. Okay, there is another noun that you may have noticed in the previous slides that appear to be the same in all three case signs, remains unchanged. It was in worksheet 2. Can anyone tell me in the chat box what it is? Ad-dunya, excellent. It would be ad-dunya for raf, ad-dunya for nasb, and ad-dunya for jar. It is also one of the nouns that do not have the clear indicator of small tha at the end, but it's considered female in Arabic. It was part of our female nouns list. Yeah, remember that? Excellent. Well done. All right. So, Alhamdulillah, we have, you see this whole chart is full on this side. You would have noticed that I have sort of left this whole part of the chart empty, and I've only filled the case sign portion. It is really important. Um, this section actually contains the complete variety of the Arabic nouns. It is going to be the single most helpful resource for you to correctly determine the case sign of any noun. Whenever you pick any noun, any word from the Quran, and you are unsure of the case sign of that noun, you'll match it with one of the categories in this chart, and this will help you to be sure of what is the case sign of that noun. Okay? Alhamdulillah. I think enough of this chart for today. Let's move on to something more exciting. Let's see. What is the word on the screen coming up? It's min, ila, ala, and fi. Um, how do we understand what these words are? What is the first thing we learned to do? Where did we start? Whenever we have any word in Arabic, the first thing we try to do is we try to see if it's a noun or a verb or a harf. So looking at these words, we have just revised all the indicators of the noun. I'm sure all of us can confidently agree that we don't have any indicators of the noun for these words, right? No al at the beginning, no tanween at the end, no ending sounds, not the names. So we can confidently eliminate the option of noun, right? What could be the next best option? Could they be verbs? No. Yes. Well, there should be a logical sequence, okay? We are just going to eliminate the options first. We have eliminated the noun. We can eliminate the verb as well because we know that they begin with ya and ta, and the verbs show action with time. Yes, they are harf. Yes, some of you have already written in the chat box that they are harf, and you may not remember now clearly, but we saw the meanings of these words in our first lesson too. It's okay if you can't recall. I'll show you the meanings again. So fi is in, ala is on, ila is to, don't mind the o dropping down, and min is from. Yeah, even if we look at the how these translated words, how in English they are used, we can say from Karachi to South Africa in this grammar class, all concentrating on the screen, on what I'm saying, I hope. Yeah, when they are when they are used in combination with the nouns, that is when they make sense. That is when they convey a complete meaning. Okay, let's see how do they appear in Arabic. Mim masjidin, it's min and masjidin. It's just because of they're written together. It's we are going to say mim masjidin, then ila masjidin, ala masjidin, and what would be the next one? Fi masjidin. Excellent. All right. Now, going back to the start, we started that whenever we determine any word to be the noun, first thing we determine that it's a noun with the indicator. Looking at the example of masjidin, we can clearly see the tanween, the indicator of the noun. The next thing we should be able to tell if it's a singular or plural. Originally, most nouns are singular, and then we start with singular and we can make the plural for it. And then the next thing is it is in male. We start with the male. We have learned how to make a female from it, and the original form is common. Most of the nouns are common. I understand there are some proper nouns as well, like the names Zaidun, Adama, Maryamu that we did, but mostly, let's talk about mostly the nouns are common, and we have learned how to make a proper from there. And then comes the case sign. What is the sequence of the case signs? It's Raf, Nasb, and then Jar. So originally the noun is supposed to be in Raf. It changes to Nasb and Jar because of one reason or another. Okay. Okay, if we look at these again, if we look at these words again, Mim Masjidin, Ila Masjidin, Ala Masjidin, and Fi Masjidin, what is the first thing that we can see common in all of these combinations? There is a harf in the start, yes. And what's next? There is masjidin common in all of these. Masjidin is what? It's a noun, and it is in jar. So the common thing here is for all of these there is a harf followed by a noun in jar. Yeah, a harf followed by a noun in jar. Okay, let's try and analyze one of these. What do we see on the screen here is ila masjidin. First, tell me what to color. Okay, I have here three of you unmuted, and I'll say your name and you'll just answer one by one. You can help each other as well, okay? What do we start? What do we start with? Color the tanween blue. Excellent. Masjidin, we have colored the tanween blue. And let's decide, is it one word or is it two words? We have been analyzing one word before. Is now here we have two words. Good. So let's just divide these in two and let's just analyze them separately to focus on them. Okay. First, what is ila? We have already established that it's a harf. What do I write next? Singular, male, proper, common? Yes, no. Why? Because all these characteristics we have learned are about the nouns. Yes, not about the harfs. So we'll just leave it here and we'll move on to masjidin. It's pretty straightforward. It should be pretty quick. Yeah, noun, singular, male, common. The case sign is jar. Good. And then the question mark. Excellent. Yes. Now, most of you were very curious of this question mark. You've been asking me from the day one of why we are putting the question mark. You tell me generally, when do we use a question mark? Generally, like not just here, but generally also. Usually, when do we use a question mark? When we have a question, right? When we cannot understand something or we don't know why. What we do not understand here is that if the original case sign of a noun is rough, then why or how it became jar here? Why the case sign is jar instead of rough here? Whenever we want to find out about this why or who changed it, we look back. Okay? Whenever we need to know why, we look back. And what can we see if we look back in this case? We are talking about masjidin, okay? And we need to know the answer of why the case sign is jar and not originally rough. Looking back, what do we see here? We see it's ila. It is a harf that has changed the case sign of the noun. This harf has changed it to jar. So the answer to this question mark, now it's not unknown anymore. We know that it's because of this ila that the case sign is in jar. So we now have the answer. Instead of question mark, we write the answer here because of ila. Don't mind it dropping down. I meant to write it ila. It's supposed to be here. So because of ila, we have masjidin in jar. Okay, the harf, the kind of harf that changes the case sign of the noun coming after it to jar is called harfe jar. Okay, so ila is harfe jar. We will be writing it as hd here. We'll never say hd. We'll always verbally be saying harfe jar, and but we'll be writing it as hd here. Okay, all right. Now, how will we translate it? We can see the meaning of ilah here. What is the meaning of ilah? It's two. And how do we translate masjid in? Masjid? Just masjid? A masjid. Good. A masjid or any masjid. Why? Because it's a common noun, right? Okay. And collectively, if we do the translation together, what would it be? Ila masjidin, to a masjid. Good. Or to any masjid, right? Both are correct, but in your work you'll just be writing one translation. I have recorded both here just so you know that both are correct. Either one of are correct. Either one of these is correct, but you'll just be writing one in your worksheets in your homeworks. Excellent. Okay, if ila masjidin means to a masjid that we have just done, what would be mim masjidin? You already know min is from, masjidin is a masjid. So what would be the meaning of mim masjidin? From a masjid. Good. And what about ala masjidin? On a masjid. Excellent. And fi masjidin? In a masjid. Beautiful. Excellent. All right. Let's try and analyze this one here. Okay. Who do I have on unmute request? Okay. How do we start? What's the first thing you're going to tell me? Color the tanveen blue. Good. All right. And now we know, is it a one word or two words? Two words. So every time we say that it's more than one word, in this case we are two words, what will we do? We will dissect it. What are we going to do? Dissect it, just like the scientists that dissect the objects and things in their labs and in their operation theaters to analyze them separately, to focus on them separately. All right, we are becoming the scientist of some sorts too. So we have to follow a logical procedure here. Why separately? Why dissecting them? Because we need to focus on them individually as well. Okay, this is the most important habit that you should acquire from the start. We will dissect this first and then we start an analysis. So first thing we are going to do is we'll color wherever applicable. In this case we have colored the tanveen blue, and then we are going to dissect it at min. All right, starting the analysis, we say min harfe jar. We already know that. We have already done the translations of all the combinations of mim masjidin, ila masjidin. You know that, yeah? Min is harfe jar. Rasulin, noun, singular, male, common, jar. And question mark again? No, we know that we need to know the reason of why it's in jar. And what do we do to find out the reason? We look back, we look behind the Rasulin, and we see men sitting behind Rasulin. So the answer to that question mark is, the reason of why it is in jar is because of min. And how do I write it? I write it like this. Pay attention, okay? I'm not writing because full. I'm not writing in uppercase. I'm not writing off here. I am going to say because of min, and I'm going to write it as BC in lowercase and min with the harakas. So pay attention. I have min with both the harakas at meme and noon. All right. So just quickly, the next time we are going to do it, we'll say it this way. Mir Rasulin, Rasulin, color the tanween blue, dissect at min, min harfi jar, Rasulin, noun, singular, male, common, jar, because of min. And then we read the Arabic before translating. So we'll say Mir Rasulin, and the translation would be from a Rasul or from a messenger. Beautiful. See? Alhamdulillah. Now we can analyze a combination of more than one words. Congratulations. All right, let's do another example. I have UXYZ on mute, on unmute, sorry. Okay, let's just use only the relevant words and let's just do it efficiently. What have we learned? What's the first thing we do? Color the tanween blue. Good. Dissect at fi, harfe jar, sabilin, noun, singular, male, common, jar, and what do we do next? We look behind. The reason for the jar here is because of fi. Yes. And we say the Arabic first before translating. Fi sabilin. Fi is in. Sabilin, in a sabil. Okay. Or sabil means way. So the translation would be in a way or in any way. Good. Well done. Excellent. Okay, another example. Ala shay'in. Color the tanween blue. Good. Go on. Dissect at Allah. Excellent. Allah, harf jar. Shay'in, noun. Singular, male, common. Jar. You looked back and you found out then the reason for jar is because of Allah. Beautiful. And the translation, first say the Arabic. What is shay'in? You don't know the meaning of shay'in? Shay'in is a thing, anything, okay? Ala shay'in, on a thing. Beautiful. You know how we say in Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir? Shay'in, so a thing. Shay'in means thing. All right, beautiful. The next one now, on a thing, on anything. We've already done that. Okay, what do we see on screen here? Min al-azabi. Al-azabi, we know it's a noun, a proper noun. What about this? Mina. Is this harf jar? We just learned that the harf jar is min, but here it is mina. Why? Because it is actually a combination of min and al-azabi. So it's the same min, but because it's connected with al-azabi, it is looking a little different. I shouldn't say a little odd, but whenever the harf jar min precedes a proper noun, al-azabi in this case, it looks a little different. We see it not exactly as min, but connected. Because of being connected to the proper noun, it looks like mina. Similarly, let's see what other harfijars look like. Fil akhirati is actually fi plus al akhirati, and it's the same fi that we saw earlier in the previous slides with the sukoon. We can't see the sukoon here because it's connected to al of al akhirati. Ilal khairi, we have learned the harfijar is ila plus al khairi in this case, yeah. And alan nari, what is the harf jar? It's actually ala, and it's same harf jar ala. It's just connected with an-nari. It looks a little different, a little odd, okay? It's just one way of remembering it. Whenever the harf jar comes with proper nouns, harf jar is preceding a proper noun. Min would look like minal, fi would look like fil, ila would look like ilal, and ala would look like alal. Okay, it's not too complicated, I'm sure. We read these so many times that we would be able to identify them. Let's do some analysis for these combinations with proper nouns. How do we start? What's the sequence? Color the al green. And now we know that it's combination of min and al-azabi. There are two words, dissect at min. Min harf jar. That's how we're going to say it. We're not going to say it mina. Min harf jar. Al-azabi. Noun. Singular. Male. Proper. Good. Jar. And what do we write here? Because of min. Excellent. Say the Arabic first. Min al-azabi. Min, what was the meaning? You remember by now? Good. Min was from, and al-azabi. So, from the, and we know the meaning of azabi as well by now. Al-azabi means the punishment. So, from the punishment. Excellent. All right, let's do another one. Fil akhirati. Color the al green. Dissect at fi. Fi harf jar. Al akhirati, noun, singular. Who said male? Female. Good. We can't forget this quickly. The small ta, very clear, okay? So female, proper, jar, because of fi, fil akhirati, in the akhirah. Good. Another one. Ilal khairi. Color the al green. We should be very quick by now. Dissect at ila. Ila harf jar. Al khairi. Noun. Singular. Male. Proper. Jar. Because of ila. Pay attention to how I am making sure that the harakas are complete and clear, okay? So regardless of how it is showing here in the analysis, I am writing the correct harakas of the harf jar, of how it appears on its own, okay? Because of ila. And ila, what was the meaning of ila? To the khair, good. And it can be towards the khair as well. Alrighty. And one more. Alan nari. Color the al green. Dissect at ala. Harfe jar ala harfe jar. An-nari, noun, singular. And good. I'm glad most of you remember that it is one of those words where we don't have the clear indicator of gold of small ta, but it is considered to be a female noun in Arabic. So it's female, proper, jar, because of ala, alan nari, on the fire. Excellent. All right. Now, if you observe all of these examples we have done with these are with the proper nouns. We have already done them with the common nouns. If you observe all of these examples, they all are a combination of two words. We see the combinations in English as well, right? The two words, they join to give a new meaning. Um, and what are they called in English? Can anyone tell me? Compound words. Good. Good. I can see some answers in chat box as well. Good. So when more than one word, two words, they join together to give a new meaning, they are called compound words in English. In Arabic, they are called murakkab. What are they called? Murakkab. We have the combination here of harf jar plus a noun in jar. Yeah. This is called murakkabe jari. When we have a combination of a harf jar followed by a noun in jar, we call it murakkabe jari. Okay, I want you to repeat it at your end as well. A harf jar followed by a noun in jar, together they are called murakkab jari. See, so we have learned something new here. And when we learn something new, what do? We give it some color. We really like coloring, don't we? And we need to mark them in our juz, in our para as well. So how do we identify it in our juz? We would be underlining them red. So whenever we identify a murakkab jari, we will underline it red from now on. Okay, alrighty. Minal azabi, here we see this is how we're gonna underline it red. You see, minal azabi, we are quite clear. It is a murakkab jari, a harf jar followed by a noun in jar. And then fil akhirati is also murakkab jari. They all are murakkab jaris. We've already established that. And we will be underlining them red. Excellent. Okay, let's try doing another example. What do we have on screen here? Minan Nasi. All right. Do I have any volunteers to do the analysis, or should I unmute someone myself? Okay, color the al green. And then what do we do next? Dissect that min? No, underline it red. Good. We have just learned that we would be, once we know that it's a harf jar followed by a noun in jar, it's a murakkab jari, and we underlines our murakkab jaris red like this. Okay, so before the dissection, we complete the coloring. We did if there was this coloring for al, and then the red underline for the murakkab jari. Now we dissect that min harf jar. An-nasi is noun. Singular? No, it's not singular. Remember, we read in Quran, Ya ayyuhan nasu. It's okay if you don't know that, but it's actually a plural of insanun. It's just a typo. I'm sorry, ignore it. This P should actually be here. It's just some typing mistake. All right, and it's a male. It's proper. Don't make this mistake in your homeworks, okay? They all should be in one line. The plural male proper, they should actually be following this noun, this alignment here. Ignore the misalignment in on the screen, please. All right, it's noun, plural of insanun, male, proper, jar, clearly, and because of min. Excellent. And now we won't do the translation before reading the Arabic. We say minan nasi, from the, and nasi is people, from the people. Good. All right. Okay, let's analyze this word on the screen here. How do we start? Color that in green blue, and noun, singular, female clearly, common, and the case sign clearly is jar. But why is it in jar? There has to be a reason for a noun to be in jar, right? Originally, it can't be in jar unless there is a reason for it. And we have just learned that a reason for a noun to be in jar is because there is a harf jar behind it. I can't see any harf jar behind it. What if I try to dissect it? What if it's actually a combination of two words and not one word? It is, if we see closely, it is actually B plus quwwatin. It's a combination of B and quwwatin. Okay. B it's looking really small when it's written in combination. Otherwise, in Arabic, this Arabic alphabet, when written on its own, it's quite evident. Now, this tiny little B here, do you think it has this much strength and power that it can change the case sign of the noun following it to jar? Can it do that? Of course it can. What would it mean? Would it mean that B is also a harf jar? Because that's what harf jar does. Yeah, only harf jar has the power to do that. Change the case sign of the noun following it to jar. So this means that B is also a harf jar. Good. And بقوة is not one word, it is combination of B and قوتي. So now we will dissect it and analyze it as two words. So now B is harf jar. قوة, now analyze it, noun, singular, female, common, jar, because of B. Good. All right, are we missing something? We have established that there is B is harf jar and بقوة is a murakkab jari. Are we missing anything? A red underline. Excellent. We will be underlining it red. And now we need to translate it. But before we do that, we need to know the meaning of B. It's not in the list here. Let's add it to the list and see what it means. B means with. Okay. And quwwatin means, most of you already know, yes, power or strength. So the translation of biquwwatin is with a strength or with some strength. Okay, excellent. All right, let's do it with the proper noun now. What do you think this sabri is? One word or two words? Two words now. You know, when we were actually doing the coloring in juz, how I specifically told you not to color the words like this? The reason was because we want you to color the proper nouns with full understanding. At that point, you probably couldn't pick up that it's a combination of B and a swabri, but now you know, all right? So now if you see it in the juz, you clearly know that it's actually B plus aswabri. And aswabri, we know it's a proper noun. It can be, the al can be colored green. When it is written with the harf jar B now, we will be coloring it like this. All right. Now, if I need to analyze it, what do I do next? Dissect at B? No, I underline it red. Excellent. Underline it red. And now I dissect it at B. B harf jar, aswabri noun, singular, male, proper, jar, clearly because of B. Good. Ignore this misalignment. Apologies for this. Just make sure in your homework it is nicely and neatly under sitting under J, under jar here. This because of B, okay? And say the Arabic and do the translation. Biswabri, B is with, aswabri is the patience. So with the patience. Excellent. All right. So our list is now, a list for harf jar is this now, and min, ila, ala, fi, and bi, we know the meanings. We have done quite a lot of examples. Are we now ready to find them in the juz, in the para? You have your red coloring pencils ready? Excellent. When I was a student, this was like my favorite part. I'd always wait for it. All right, take your paras out, take your red colors out, because we have understood already that we are going to underline the Murakkab Jari's red. Let's have a look at page 9. We know that the color coding Murakkab Jari, we are going to underline them red. How are we going to look for the Murakkab Jaris now? Do we just read through all the lines and we look through all the 64 pages and start looking at for these words min, ila, ala, fi, bi? No, we look for already colored blue or green nouns, the common and proper nouns. We look at all the colored nouns and we look for those specifically that are in jar. Okay, and then we look behind them and look for these harf jar. If there is an already colored noun in jar and behind that noun is one of these harf jars, then voila, we found our murakkab jari, and that is when we will be coloring it in red. Alright, so let's have a look at this page. Okay, I have unmuted X, Y, and Z, and let's start. Which one can you see first on this page? Minas samai, excellent. We will underline it red like this. Okay, alright, what's the next one? Minat thamarati. Good. So athamarati is already a colored noun. It's in jar and we can find min behind it. Minat thamarati. Excellent. Okay, look for page number 13 now in your juz. Again, we are looking for the already colored nouns in jar, and then behind them there should be one of these harf jar. That would be our murakkab jari, and we'd be underlining it red. Okay, I have X, Y, and Z unmuted, and you are going to tell me one by one if you can find any murakkab jari. Fil ardi, excellent in the first line, good. What's the next one? Another fil ardi, beautiful. And there's another one I can see pretty close to it. Ilas samai, beautiful. See, we have already done these in the class and how easy it is for you to identify them. Alhamdulillah. Okay, is there anything else? Anything that we are missing on this page? What about this? Billahi. What about it? You see, it's not colored. Billahi is not colored. Can we underline it red? We know that it's a combination of B and Allahi now. Can we underline it red? No, we cannot. It has to be a colored noun first. See? It was a colored noun in jar and then there was a harf jar behind it. It is not colored. First, we have to color the al green and then it would be eligible to be underlined red. Okay. First, we have to identify the noun and then we underline it, underline the murakkab jari. Okay. So, how would we color this? We color the al first like this and then now we can underline the B and Allahi, Billahi as our murakkab jari. Got it? So all the similar ones that we may have missed, or you were told not to color earlier, now we can pick them up, but we won't be underlining them straight away. First, we'll color the al green, the noun. First, the noun has to be colored, and then only the murakkab would be underlined. Got it? Okay, now get on to page number 14. Hold on, muted ones. Let's just start identifying. What is the first one you see here? Fil ardi, beautiful. And any other one? Yeah, go towards the bottom of the page. Alal malaikati, beautiful, excellent. All right. Any other one on this page? No, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, let's look at page number 19. What's the first thing that you pick up here? At least that's the first thing that I see. Bil batili, we have done a similar one just now. Similar to billahi. Excellent. I just underline it red now, yeah? No, I gotta color the noun first and then only I'd be able to underline the murakkab. So the al green and then al green for al batili and then bil batili will be underlined red. Okay, beautiful. Anything else on this page? Towards the middle, yes, bil birri, very similar example. Al green first and then bil birri would be underlined. And bis sabri, good pickup. Bis sabri, we have done this the exact one in the class. So al green first and then bis sabri for the red underline for being murakkab jari. Anything else? No? Are we sure? What about this? Ina sound at the end and We see ala here, ala behind it. This is also murakkab jari, ala al-khashi'ina. Beautiful. Well done. Okay. The next page we are going to do is page number 25. Fil ardi. Excellent. Another one. Ala tu'amin. Beautiful. And that's about it, I believe, on this page. The next one, let's have a look at page number 38. Yeah, the very first one, Fil Hayati. Excellent. Bighafilin. Yes. And anything else? Bil akhirati. Good pickup. Okay. Again, we have done quite a few examples. It's pretty clear, I'm sure, to all of you. We'll color the al green first, and then bil akhirati will be underlined red. Any other example on this page? What about the last line? Bir rusuli. Excellent. Al green and then bir rusuli, red underline. Okay, let's have a look at another page. Page number 47. Fil akhirati. Yes, that's pretty straightforward. Min khalaqin. That's another easy one. And I believe that's about it for this one. Let's get on to page number 58. Minat samarati. Already done the same one earlier. And billahi, yes, see, you're becoming experts now. You're picking them up so quickly. Excellent. Allahi, al green first, and then billahi red underlined. Minal baiti, yes, beautiful. Okay, the next page we are going to do is page number 63. Isn't it fun? It's easy, right? Alhamdulillah, how many you can identify so quickly now? Fi shiqaqin, yes. Any other one? Minallahi. Good. And fillahi as well. Yes. Excellent. Well done. It is fun, isn't it? Okay, back to the chart. Well, good job with identifying the nouns. You know, when we are coloring the murakkab jari in the juz, we concentrate on the colored noun that are in jar. That's the right thing to do. Well, some have clearly the case sign jar, like these, yeah. But then we also come across some male plural nouns like kafirina and al-mu'minina. You know, we did al-khashina on one of the pages, yeah? Well, these can have the case sign jar or nasb. And then what about the female plural nouns? They seem to have the case sign, you know, atu, ati, with the same for the nasb and jar, atin and ati. And then Maryama and Masajida. Why are these under jar? They are Maryam type nouns. They appear the same in Nasb and Jar. So Maryama may appear to be in Nasb, but only if we remember this detail we'll be able to identify the Murakkab Jari. And lastly we have Musa, which appear the same under Raf, Nasb or Jar. There are other Musa type nouns as well, so we have to be very observant. What is the conclusion that we're drawing here? In order to check the case sign jar, we will have to refer to this portion of the chart. See, that is why I said this is going to be one of the most helpful resources for you. Okay, now let's analyze another example. What do we see on screen here? Alal alamina. Can it be murakkab jari? We know one thing, that this is a proper noun here. We are going to color the al green. But can it be murakkab jari? There is a harf jar ala. Yes, plus there is a male plural noun which can be in jar. Una, ina. So ina, it can be in jar. We have already underlined al khashina. So yes, it can be in jar. Let's just draw a red line. But let's also analyze to confirm that it's definitely a murakkab jari. Okay, so dissect at ala harf jar, al alamina noun, plural of, we drop the ina to make the singular, and it has to be in common, in rough, so it would be alamun. Good, that's an easy bit for you by now. And it is male, proper, nasb and jar. Oh, it can't be in murakkab jari. It's nasb and jar, ina. For murakkab jari, it has to be in jar, right? But if we cut the nasb, then can it be just in jar? I'm sorry, this is just misaligned. This cut has to be on N actually, not on this slash. Or I just assume that this cut is on here. Let me actually draw one here. So this cut is here. Ignore this one, okay? All right. So can it be, now that we have cut the nasb, that means it is just remaining in jar now. And what would be the reason for it to be in jar? We're looking back. There is a harf jar behind it. So the reason for it to be in jar is because of Allah. And how do we translate it? Alal alamina, on the alamina. Alam is world. So on the worlds, that's the translation. Okay. There is a harf jar behind it, and harf jar only has one job. What is that? To bring the noun following it into jar. So although it can exist both in nasb and jar, the final case sign can only be one. And in this case, because of the harf jar behind it, it can only be jar. So we will have to cross out the nasb. So this is how we'd be doing it. Okay, understood? Let's look at another example. Fis samawati. Coloring. We colored the al green. Yes. And are we sure that it's murakkab jari? Let's try and analyze first. If you are in doubt, if you are unsure of if it's murakkab jari or not, we can double check it by analyzing it first. Okay. So dissect at fi. Harf jar fi harf jar, sorry, not harf jar fi, we say fi harf jar, as-samawati, noun, and this is a plural of what? Samaun. Good. And it's a female, although there is no small ta with the singular. We know that this is one of those words from our female nouns list, yeah? It's female and it's proper, and the case sign is ati, nasb, jar. Now that we have just talked about it, that although it appears to be the same in nasb and jar, the final case sign can only be one. To understand what could it be, if we look behind it, we see a harf jar sitting behind it. And what is that one job of harf jar? To change the case sign of the noun after it to jar. Yes. So what are we gonna do? We are gonna cross off the nasb. Oh, that's another mistake. Ignore this. This is how we are gonna cut it. Okay. So the nasb is going to be crossed off, and the jar, the reason for it to be in jar is because of fi. Excellent. How are we going to say it now? Noun, plural of sama'un, female, proper, nasb jar because of fi. Okay, that's how we'd be saying it in the analysis. And now to translate it. Oh, sorry, before translating, now we are sure that it is a murakkab jari. We have already established that. Now we can confidently draw the red underline. Thank you for reminding. I kind of forgot about it. Okay, now fis samawati, the translation will be in the samaun is heaven, samawati, in the heavens, in the skies. Someone's written in the chat box. That's also correct, but in the heavens, that's how we are going to translate it. Okay, excellent. All right, let's do another one. Ila Ibrahima. How do we color it? Yes, the first letter of Ibrahima green. We have already done that. And we have this harf jar ila, And Ibrahima is what type of noun? Maryam type. So Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama, we can see that it can be in jar as well. So we can underline it red here. All right, let's start the analysis and it would just confirm our understanding. Ila harfe jar, Ibrahima, noun, singular, male, proper, and what is the case sign? Nasb and jar. And looking behind it tells us it can only be in jar, so nasb would be crossed off, and the reason is because of ila. Excellent. In the translation, we say the Arabic first, ila Ibrahima, to Ibrahim. Beautiful. All right. The next one. Who's going to do the next one? Fit dunya. So it looks easy, doesn't it? Okay. Ad dunya, al green, and we can underline it red now. We are pretty confident that it is going to be a murakkab jari. Dissect at fi. Fi harfe jar. Ad-dunya noun. Singular. Yes. Female. Excellent. Proper. And the case sign. Ad-dunya and Musa type words. They appear to be the same in all raf, nasb, and jar. So the case sign is raf, nasb, and jar. What are we going to cross here? Both raf and nasb. Good. It can only be in one case sign finally. And here, because we have a harf jar behind it, it can only be in jar. So raf and nasb would be crossed out. And the reason is, this is how you're going to cross in your homework, okay? The reason is because of fi. Good. And it's misaligned as well. Just assume that it's written here. The translation, fit dunya, in the world. Beautiful. All right. We have this bi mu'minina. Also an easy one. How do we color it? We color the fatha of ina blue. Good. And we have already established that there is a this B behind it is a harf jar. And ina, it is like it is a possibility of it being in jar. So we can confidently underline it red as murakkab jari. Analyze it. Dissect at B. B harf jar. Mu'minina noun. Plural of mu'minun. Beautiful. Male, common, and ina, nasb and jar, crossing off the nasb. Sorry, I know I'm saying the extra words. All I gotta say is noun, plural of mu'minun, male, common, nasb jar because of be. Good. Be mu'minina with some believers. Easy, right? Okay. What is this now? Some new word. No need to worry. We'll just follow the steps. What are we going to do? We color the tanween blue. Qawmin. You might be familiar with this word qawmin. We have we have heard the stories. We have learned about the stories of Qawm Nuh. Yeah, we have read that in Quran. So Qawm is one word. So you reckon there could be one more than one word here? You know, Qawmin and then Li behind it? Actually, yes. There are two words, Li and Qawmin. What can we deduce from this? If Li, this Li, is changing the case sign of Qawm into Jar, then what do you think it is? Is it also harf jar? It is actually. Yes. Let's just start analyzing it, okay? Li is harf jar because we can see already that qawmin is in jar before even we analyze it. We are at this level of expertise now, alhamdulillah. Qawmin, noun, singular, male, common, jar, because of Li. Yes, But how do we translate it? We don't know the meaning of li. Let's add it to the list as well and see what is the meaning. It is four. So li means four. And how do we translate it now? Oh, sorry, before we translate it, good point, good pickup. Now that we know that it is a harf jar, li, and qawmin, the noun coming after it, is in jar. It is a murakkab jari and it can be underlined red. It should be underlined red. Okay, so li qawmin underlined red, and the translation is for. What is a qawm? Nation. Yeah, a nation, for a nation. Excellent. All right. Let's do another one. Lil kafirina. You can quickly tell now it is a combination of al kafirina and li. And how do we color it? We're gonna color the al green. We can color the al green. In this case, the al is not quite obvious, but we know that al kafirina is sort of here in this combination, so we will be coloring it this way. Okay, and we know that li is already harfe jar. We've already learned that, and ina, it is going to be in jar eventually, so it is a murakkab jari. We can safely underline it red. Let's start the analysis. Dissect at li. Li harfe jar, al kafirina. We have done this so many times. Let's just quickly go through it. Noun, plural of kafirun, male, proper, una, ina, nasb jar, jar because of li. Lil kafirina, for the disbelievers. Too easy. Well done. Okay, move on to the next one. Lizikri. Another one now, li. We know that we are doing the li ones. So it is li plus azzikri. Good, good. And what do we have to color now? The al of azzikri. And in this form, the al, we don't have the clear al, but we would be coloring it this way, the second lam here. And do I start dissection now? No, I got to underline it red. Good. Dissect at li. Li harf jar. Az-zikri is noun, singular, male, proper, jar, clearly because of li. And the translation, liz zikri, for the zikr. Yeah, for the zikr. Zikr is remembrance. Okay, so for the remembrance. Yeah, see, now our list is extended to Alhamdulillah. These harfe jars. We have practiced these many now. Alhamdulillah. All right. We started off with four, but now we have added two more, bringing our list to up to six harfejars now, alhamdulillah. Okay, let's look at some more pages and identify some more murakkab-e-jari and underline them now. The fun part. Always look forward to it. Okay, let's look at page number 2. What's the first one you can see here? Lillahi. Excellent. Good pickup. What is lillahi? It is li plus Allahi. Yeah. So Allahi, we knew if it was separate, we would simply just color the al green, but we can't see it's in combination. We can't see the al clearly here. So in the juz, this is how we'd be coloring it. If it was separate, we would just color the al, yeah. But in the juz, lillahi would be colored this way. We would be coloring the second lam here, okay? I cannot underline it red before the noun is colored. We have done that. We have repeated that so many times now, right? So we colored the Allahi in the Lahi first like this, and then I'd be able to underline it red. Okay, so let's do it in the juz. We have sort of taken it out to see clearly. Now just do it in the juz. Lillahi. Easy? Got it? All right, let's get on to page number 4. Let's see, what do we have here? Ala hudan. Good, good. That's the very first line. Any other one? Minan nasi. Good. And what's the next one? Billahi. Excellent. And do I move on to the next page? No, I'm gonna color. I'm gonna underline it red. Billahi. We have already done that. And there is another one right next to it. I underlined Bil Yaumi red. Yeah? No? Good. We gotta color the al green first and then we would be underlining Bil Yaumi. Beautiful. All right. The next would be page number 10. Oh, Lillahi. Already done that. Could pick up the very first word, color the green first, and then Lillahi. The next is Fi Raibin. Yes. Bisuratin. Excellent. And anything else? You want to look towards the end of the page? Lil Kafirina. Good. How are we going to color this? Again, we'll color the hidden al and then underline it red. Excellent. All right, and let me mention something here. At the end of lesson 2, I gave you some page numbers. You were asked to color the male plural common nouns only on the specific pages, not all the pages, right? Why did we do that? To avoid any confusion, because we did not want you to be confused with these these words, like what if because you couldn't at that time, you couldn't identify that this lil kafirina is actually the combination of li and al kafirina, so you could have just confused this with the male common plural noun. Okay. uh, Many of you would have colored this fatha here of al kafirina, but now that you have colored your murakkab jari, you have understood the that this is not actually a male plural common noun. Now you can go through all the pages and color the missing male common plural nouns, the fatha, just like we did on the page numbers that we gave you. Okay, we can see one on this page. Can anyone pick up a male plural common noun where we colored the fatha of the noon blue? Swadiqina, yes, here, right here, we see, right? So keep those blue pencils handy as well. We started off with the red line, but then we realized we'd be coloring some proper nouns green too that we couldn't pick up earlier. And now we are doing the common male plural nouns as well, the blue ones. So keep all those pencils handy, okay? All right, the next page, let's have a look at page number 16. Lil Malaikati, before even I could see it, someone picked it up. Well done. Lil Malaikati, Al green, the hidden Al green for Al Malaikati, and now Lil Malaikati can be underlined red. Li Adama, that's next. Well done. So the first letter of Adama green and Li Adama underlined red. Beautiful. And Minal Kafirina, yes. Anything else? Minal Zolimina. Beautiful. Okay. Um, do another page. Page 40. Alal lazina. Pretty straightforward. Yes. Alal kafirina. Yes. You are becoming very attentive. I can see you are quite alert. That's good. Bi ghadabin on the last line, and another one right next to it. Ala ghadabin. That's it? No, lil kafirina. Oh, we are expert of this now, aren't we? Coloring the al green first and then lil kafirina red underline. Okay, excellent. Well done. Let's do this example now. Who is going to analyze it? What is this? Li Jibrila. It's Li plus Jibrila. We're quite confident about it. Yeah. We have already just underlined Li Adama, colored and underlined the Ali Adama. Jibrila, this is how we're gonna color it, the first letter. And in this murakkab, we would color it like similarly like this. And what's next? Start dissection? No, underline first. Good. Alhamdulillah. This should be very easy for you. So dissect at li. Let's just do it really quickly and really efficiently, okay? To the point. Li harf jar, Jibrila, noun, singular, male, proper, nasb jar, because of li. Li Jibrila, for Jibrail. Excellent, well done. Okay, back to the juz, my favorite part. We can see this same word in page number 44. So we are going to now underline it green. And what's the next one? Lil Mu'minina on the same page. Good. Any other one? Lillahi. Excellent. Anything else? Lil Kafirina. Yes. I don't think there is another one on this page. Let's look at page number 48. Lil Kafirina, the very first one in the first line. And then Min Khairin. Yes, that's an easy one. Min Ayatin. Well done. And I can see another one right under it. Bi Khairin. Excellent. All right, let's do page number 53 now. Fid dunya, we just analyzed it. We did that example, right? Fid dunya, good. See how easy it is for you to identify them. Fil akhirati, beautiful. And lillahi, yes. Anything else? Fis samawati here, beautiful. All right, so we have done quite a lot of pages in the class. Whatever is remaining, make sure you do that as part of the homework. I'll give you more details about the homework in the end, okay? Let's just do another example first. We bil bayyinati. We have already analyzed al bayyinati. Today, we have done it today. Now it is coming with B. We can easily identify it. It's B and al-bayyinati. Yeah, and how do we color it? With separately, we could simply color the al. And here also with B, it's also pretty straightforward how we're going to color it. And the next is, we are underlining it red. Let's just now again stay on point. No extra words and just start the analysis. So dissect at B, B harf jar, al bayyinati, noun, plural of bayyinatun, female, proper, nasb jar, because of B, bil bayyinati, with the, we even know the meaning of bayyinatun now, with the clear signs. Excellent. Good memory. Good job. Okay. All right. Now I have unmuted two of you. Let's just do these one by one. What's the first thing? We are going to analyze it all together. Let's just color all of it first. What's the first thing that we color? Samawati al green. Good. And al ardi, al for al ardi green. Yes. And then underline red. What do I underline red? The whole thing? No, minas samawati is one murakkab jari. I underline it red. And ilal ardi is another murakkab jari. I underline it red. And I am going to dissect it. How? At min as-samawati, then at ila, and al-ardi. See, so I can clearly identify these are like four separate words. So I am going to analyze them individually, just like I've been doing it for two words. I can easily do it for more than two words too as well. Okay, so min harfe jar, easy. As-samawati, we just did it, noun, plural of sama'un, female, proper. Nasb jar because of min. Ila is harf jar. Al-ardi, noun, singular, female, proper, jar because of ila. Excellent. Now read the Arabic. Minas samawati ilal ardi. You have translated this separately and you have translated it separately just today. What if we translate the whole thing together? It's pretty easy. Just say it. Minas samawati ilal ardi. From the heavens to the earth. How easy is that? Alhamdulillah. See, you can, after you analyze this, you can just, it's like a pretty much a whole phrase that you can, Alhamdulillah, analyze and translate on your own. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so to summarize, Alhamdulillah, at the end of our third lesson today, we learned about harf jar and also how to identify a murakkab jari. And how did we do that? We learned that if we see a colored noun in jar, we'd look back to check if there is a harf jar sitting behind it. And if yes, there is a harf jar, one of the harfs from this list, we will be underlining it red. So now you're not only able to identify so many murakkab jari, but you can also do their translations. Okay, let's just try and translate some of them without the analysis. All you have to do is use the meaning of harf jar first. The meanings are written here, and then just say the noun. If it is common, we are going to say a or any or some. We have been doing it for a while now, and for proper nouns, we don't forget to add the. Yeah, so easy peasy. First, we've been looking for the colored nouns in the juz, and then if they are in jar, we've been looking behind to see if there is a harf jar behind it, and we have been underlining them red, as I just said. Okay, let's just try and translate them without analyzing. So, minallahi is from Allah. Excellent. Ila ba'din is to some. Ba'din means some, or to some ba'd. If you don't know, you can say to some ba'd, but actually, or to a ba'd. But ba'din means actually some, so to some. Yeah. And what about this? Ala hudan, on a hudan, on a guidance. Hudan is guidance, so on a guidance. Yes. And then fi zulumatin. Fi is in. Zulumatin, we know it's a plural. And in some zulumat. Good. Excellent. The next one is bil haqqi, with the haq. Yes. And lil mu'minina, for the believers. Excellent. See how easy it is. How many nouns, how many murakkabs. Not only we can identify them, but we can also translate them. Alhamdulillah. Okay. All right. Okay, now time to tell you about your homework. What is going to be your assignment? You are going to color and complete the analysis of all the examples in worksheet 3. They were going to be exactly like the ones that we have done in the class, so it should be pretty easy. Okay, and here are the words. We have done most of them in the class already. It does not matter if you cannot identify the meanings of any of these nouns. More important thing is to just understand how to analyze them, how to color them, how to dissect them properly, how to translate them properly. You can just use the same word, okay? And I'll also be sending you some meanings in the group. So don't stress about the meanings, all right? Um, then the second part of the assignment would be to find the examples of Murakkab Jari in the Juz 1. We have done quite a few in the class, so I'm sure you're well practiced. The remaining ones in the Juz, you just gotta follow the same procedure, the same step-by-step instructions. We will be looking for the colored nouns, already colored nouns in Jar, and then we'll be looking behind them for the harf jar, and also we'd be looking to find the nouns that we may have missed to color in the last assignments, like bis sabri and bil akhirati, the nouns like those. Okay, and ila ba'din, yeah, it's just some examples here that I have added. Ila ba'din, we have already done this. Fil ardi, like if a colored noun is already in the juz, in jar, you gotta look for the harf jar behind it. If you do find one, you are going to underline it red. And for this example, you may not have this al colored already. If you come across such nouns, first you are going to color the al, and then you are going to underline the whole murakkab. We have done quite a few examples of this as well. Yes, Lil Mu'minina is also one of those examples where al won't be colored already. You would be coloring the al hidden in it first, and then you would be underlining the whole murakkab. Yeah, and then the last bit, I already mentioned it when we were doing the coloring in juz, is that you will be identifying the male plural common nouns in all the pages, all the remaining pages, like you've already done for the page numbers that were given to you in the last lessons. Just the page numbers that were not included in the previous assignments. Go through those and make sure you color any missing male plural common nouns on those pages. Okay. Um, Excellent. Any questions? سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين